Everybody to today's class. We're looking at advanced phrasal verbs and idioms. This is the 17th lesson in this course. I've taken all of this vocabulary from a white book called Advanced Idioms and Phrasal Verbs, and you can find that online very easily. You can also choose my own book if you want, which is called Visual Phrasal Verbs, and there are loads of phrasal verbs in there. And of course, you have pictures and exercises. If you buy the black and white copy on Amazon, it's £20, but you can buy it on my website as well as a PDF. Okay, so the first expression today is to bring out the best in someone or to bring out the worst in someone. Now here, bring out means to evoke or make apparent. Now you don't have to only, it's not necessary to only use this expression. There are other expressions with bring out. For example, the sound of his voice always brings out my anger. Something like that evokes my anger, makes my anger apparent. But this is the most common one. You say something like, oh, she's a lovely girl, she always brings out the best in him, and it means that she's a great influence on this guy because she makes him perform to his best, or she makes him a good person in some kind of way. She has a good influence on him. Okay, so to bring out the best in somebody, but also to bring out the worst in somebody. Yeah, if somebody is a bad influence on your child, you might say, I'd rather he didn't hang around with that kid, because that kid brings out the worst in him, something like that. His bad behaviour rubs off on my child. So remember, rub off on as well, for when usually bad behaviour or bad habits are passed on to somebody else. But good habits can be passed on as well, can rub off on you as well. Okay, if you take the plunge, you take a risk in some kind of way. You try to do something difficult or important that you were hesitant to do straight away. You know, this is a swimming expression. When you take the plunge, you dive in. And we can use that one as well. We can say to dive in. You can also say to dive in the deep end, meaning to take a risk and just jump into a dangerous situation or something which is risky in some kind of way. So buying a house is risky, and you might say something like, we've been thinking about it for a few years, and in the end we took the plunge and bought a house. Yeah, we took out a mortgage and bought a house. So to take the plunge is to do something risky. To get in touch with somebody, if you haven't heard this expression before, you will do soon. This is to contact somebody. Yeah, to get in touch with somebody is to contact somebody, and that's all it means, and we use this one all the time. Now, there's safety in numbers means that there is safety when a group of people do something together. That's the idea. It means what it says. It means that something is safer when when a lot of you choose to do it at the same time. So you can just use that idiom whenever you're saying that because there's a lot of us doing it, this is safer. It's less risky. Now, if you have a whale of a time, I have no idea why we say this, but it means you have a great time. Yeah, that's all it means, to have a whale of a time, to have a great time. It's quite common. The following phrasal verb, to catch up with somebody or to catch up on something or with something. Catch up with somebody means talk to them even though you haven't seen them for a long time, and you talk to them to find out all the information that you've missed, to find out what's been going on in their life, and you catch up with them. Yeah, you catch up with them, you find out all their news, you find out all the latest developments that have taken place in their life. But if you catch up on the news or catch up with the news, that's catch up with something, it means you find out what news you've missed. Okay, so it does have that meaning as well. Remember that it has the physical meaning of catch up with somebody you're chasing. That's a very physical meaning of this verb, and it certainly means that too. But you can even catch up on what's been going on recently. So you can catch up on or catch up with and have a whole clause there as the object. Yeah, catch up with what he's been doing. It is used like that sometimes. Now, if you say go for it, it means do it. Do it and it will be great, or you'll have fun, or it will be productive for you, it will be interesting for you, it will help you in some kind of way. So do it. So go for it. Very common again. Now, you might say go for it, you have nothing to lose, meaning do it, because if you don't do it, you won't lose anything. Yeah, sorry, I said that the wrong way around. If you do it, you won't lose anything. And so this means, give something a try. What have you got to lose? Very often you have nothing to lose by giving something a try. And so it means what it says it means. Again, you have nothing to lose. You should give it a try. You should go for it. You should do it. Now, we sometimes say that somebody looks $1 million. Obviously, this is an American expression, not a British one, but it is quite common. And it might seem strange because normally it's look like plus a noun. Yeah, he looks like a teacher. She looks like an Italian. It's normally plus a noun. But here it's a noun here and we don't have a like. And so we usually say she looks $1 million. And it just means she looks great. She looks fantastic. She's really dressed up. She's dolled up. She's looking good. And yeah, with this bring out, I forgot to say, you could even say something like wine brings out the spicy flavour of the meat. It means it makes it apparent. It makes you feel that spicy flavour in a more obvious way. Now, if you are pushing 40 or pushing 50, unfortunately, I've already turned 40, so I'm no longer pushing 40. Pushing 40 means getting closer and closer to 40. Pushing 50 means getting closer and closer to 50. Okay? Turning 40 or turning 50 means becoming 40, becoming 50 years old. So I'm no longer pushing 40, I'm already pushing 50, although I like to think that I'm still in my early 40s, and so I'm not quite pushing 50. So pushing means getting closer and closer. If something puts years on you, it makes you look much older, okay? So if you think that smoking makes somebody look older, and I think it is true that it makes the skin look older and it gives you more wrinkles, you might say smoking puts years on a person. But it doesn't have to be smoking, it can be something else. It can be a certain type of clothes that you wear. Maybe you've got an old jumper that you never take off and it puts years on you. It makes you look older, that's all. So, I mean, a beard on a young person puts years on him. It usually makes them look a lot older. Okay, if you are glad to see the back of somebody, you're very pleased that that person's gone because you don't like them. Pretty clear, this one, yeah, I'm glad to see the back of him. We also call people skinny or bony if they're very, very thin.